One of our top stories this morning, Missoula police involved in a high-speed chase at about 4:15 Wednesday morning. According to police spokesman Travis Welch, the pursuit began after an officer noticed a vehicle swerving between lanes on Orange Street.
A Missoula police officer attempted to stop a vehicle driving erratically on North Orange Street, just underneath the interstate. Rather than pull over to the side of the road and stop, the vehicle continued up onto the interstate where it attempted to drive away westbound. The officer got behind the vehicle and soon learned that it had been reported stolen in Great Falls.
Officers report the vehicle's speed rose and fell erratically, sometimes up over 100 miles per hour.
Missoula County Sheriff deputies joined the Missoula police officer in the pursuit, which continued westbound till right around mile marker 82, or just west of the 9-mile exit, where the vehicle crashed. The driver was identified as an adult female. She appeared to be very intoxicated at the time.
26-year-old Juliana Frank was taken to the hospital after crashing her vehicle into a median. Police say she tried to drive off after the crash, but the vehicle was compromised. She's under guard at St. Patrick Hospital with minor injuries. She's been cited with felony theft, reckless driving, DUI, and eluding a police officer, among other charges. She's already had a felony warrant out for her arrest in Missoula, likely stemming from an incident in May where she was charged with felony robbery after attacking an employee while stealing liquor. Voters in Montana's capital city have elected a Liberian refugee as their next mayor. Wilmot Collins ousted four-term Helena Mayor Jim Smith 51 to 48% Tuesday in the mail-in election for the nonpartisan post. Collins campaigned for more affordable housing, addressing homelessness among military veterans and teens, and for increasing staffing for the police and fire departments. Collins is a state child protection specialist and an adjunct instructor at Helena College, University of Montana. Also a member of the U.S. Naval Reserves, he fled the Civil War in Liberia in the early 1990s. The Montana Historical Society says Collins is believed to be the first black mayor of Helena since 1874, when Edward Johnson, a barber from Washington, D.C., became unincorporated Helena's first mayor. And with that in mind, voters in more than half a dozen U.S. cities have elected or re-elected black mayors. Tuesday's wins came at a half century after Carl Stokes was elected in Cleveland as the first black mayor of a large American city, and could one day translate to new black leadership on the national political stage. African American Mayors Association Executive Director Stephanie Mash Sykes says it also shows, quote, regardless of demographics, black leaders are effective, end quote. She said there are about 30 black mayors in U.S. cities with more than 100,000 residents. The 2010 census lists more than 200 cities and regional areas that size. The black mayors will include the gentleman we just mentioned, Wilmot Collins, who defeated an incumbent to take the mayor's office in Helena. In Flint, Michigan, Karen Weaver fended off a recall effort and beat several challengers to complete her term. Missoula Probation and Parole and Missoula Partners for Reintegration are hosting a re-entry simulation event today at the Missoula County Fairgrounds. Probation Officer Mark Kittleson explains.
What it does is it simulates the life of somebody returning from incarceration, typically prison, and it kind of simulates that first month when they're out of prison. And so for the simulation, it breaks down 4 different weeks, and it breaks down into 15-minute segments, and each segment is a week of their life. And you kind of get to role play through some of the challenges that somebody returning from incarceration may face.
Kittleson said he participated in the event in the past, and he now has an entirely different mindset.
You know, being a probation officer and working in this field for a number of years, it was very eye-opening for me. And it felt very realistic, and it was kind of almost, I was almost kind of frustrated at the end because it was so difficult. It felt like the odds, with the character I played, it felt like the odds were so stacked against me. It put into perspective how difficult it is.
Kittleson says there are 2 separate simulations that will take place today. The first is free and open to the public from 9 to 11. Again, these are all at the fairgrounds. The second simulation is from 1 to 3 p.m. for professional agencies that deal with the criminal justice population. Early turnout forecast of about 25% for Missoula's municipal election turned out to be way below the final results. Election coordinator Rebecca Connors explains.
We saw 43% voter turnout. 50% of the ballots that we issued were returned and accepted by our office. And so those are really great numbers. This morning I hopped online to look at our election results from previous elections. And last year's presidential primary, we had 42% voter turnout for Missoula County. So we were right in line with a presidential primary.
One of the reasons for the low turnout forecast was the slow rate at which ballots were returned. Connors inferred this possibly is because of the infamous body slam incident that occurred during the last hours of the race between Greg Gianforte and Rob Quist.
I think voters were a little shy to return their ballot too early in case anything had changed with any of the candidates or campaigns. They wanted to make sure that their vote was the right vote and that there weren't going to be any last-minute changes that might compromise how they wanted to cast their ballot. So, and I think that's a reflection of the May 25th special election where we had headlines created the night before the election.
There was one slight hiccup during Tuesday's election. Connors said many voters went to Hellgate Elementary to drop off their ballots, but the site was unavailable because of construction. The Missoula Elections Office is currently trying to find a new polling place near Hellgate Elementary for next year's election. Last month, Montana Fish, Wildlife, and Parks ramped up their surveillance for chronic wasting disease because it was discovered in neighboring states. Unfortunately, though, spokesman Bob Gibson says the disease has finally made its way to Montana.
For the first time ever, Montana, we got a positive result on sampling of mule deer that said that it was infected with a chronic wasting disease. Never have seen that in Montana before. Hope never to see it again. And so the intention here is to make sure that that we take whatever measures we need to keep it from spreading in Montana.
Gibson said they're still trying to figure out what to do to prevent the disease from spreading. It could affect hunting opportunities.
This is real early in the process. We're less than 24 hours from that first positive test result. And so it could have an effect yet this year in that we may have a special hunt right around where that animal was harvested. So that we can get a whole bunch of samples and test for the prevalence and distribution of chronic wasting disease.
A deer likely infected with CWD will foam at the mouth, have balance issues, drool, and their head or ears will hang low. Gibson asks that hunters report any sign of symptoms like that so a deer can be tested. Our News Talk time is 6:12.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station. A wintry mix of rain and snow with pockets of freezing rain will be possible early today. Daytime highs will eventually warm into the low 40s. Tonight, a wintry mix of rain and snow with our overnight lows right around the freezing mark. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.